people who want jobs, who want to work in this country, who want to be part of this country. I have no problem with that at all. In the news not too long ago, when Arizona first came up with their legislation, there was an interview from a Hispanic person. A gentleman had been in Phoenix for 9 years, had 2 children, and his comments were that he was going to have to leave Phoenix. Been there for 9 years and was building up a family. And you feel sorry for people like that. You really do. But when I was here in Arizona this year on a 14,000-acre ranch owned by a family that had been on this property for over 200 years, 5th-generation family, 8 miles of border that was on this ranch. Sheriff Richard Jones and I went there with the Cochise County Sheriff, talked to John Kyle's the fellow's name, but talked to him, and his comments were, I've got two things I can do. Number one, I can leave. That's 200 years of family being on this property. Or number two, I can fight. This is in the United States of America. And if I fight, they'll put me in jail. He videotaped out of his kitchen window. And that's just a couple blocks away from here. If you would videotape from here, 8 or 10, presumably illegals, carrying packages on their backs from his window. He put that video on the internet. A couple weeks later, he got a visit from the Border Patrol. Asked him why he did that. His answer was protection. They asked him not to do it, but he continued. His father himself lived there on that ranch, 2 houses, plus barns and all the things you need to run a ranch. And he's got video cameras all the way around it. When we were there, that had been 30 days prior to that he started doing this. And from that time until now, he has not seen one person cross close to his residence. They closed the border in that section, that little very small section. So it can be done. My voice is for those people. Two ranches over, when you say farm, it makes them mad, so you got to say ranch. But 2 ranches over was the ranch that the fellow was killed. He was out on his ranch, on his own property, came upon who knows who, killed him and his dog, left him there. He was found. The Sheriff's Department tracked the perpetrator back to the border. Another fellow rancher we had dinner with one night though out there that owned several thousand acres came across 12 of them across his property. He was armed. He stopped them, held them, called the Border Patrol. Border Patrol came up and picked them up, took them back to the border. Those people sued him for $1.2 million apiece. He went to federal court in Tucson, Arizona for over a year. He won, but it cost him $100,000. He said, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it. When we were on the Ladd Ranch, the sheriff pointed out to us, and if you're not familiar with that area, it's desolate. It's desert, but it's beautiful. There's mountains. But he pointed to the top of 2 mountain peaks on the United States side. And he said, watch up there, and every once in a while you'll see a glimmer. Like maybe sometime you'll see from a mirror or a glass or something, you'll see a little. And he pointed out, he said, those are watchmen. They're not watchmen for the United States. They're watchmen for the drug lords. And they watch the border in Cochise County. so that they can report back where the Border Patrol is, so that they can send their people across that border and get across. And they were watching us, definitely. Those are the things that bother me. Those are the things that I find intolerable. The national park out there in Cochise County, when you approach the park, there's a sign that says, "Enter at your own risk." How would you feel in the state of Ohio going to any of our state parks and see a sign like that? And you want to take your family there and you want to enjoy the park? We had a conversation with a business owner in Bisbee. And Bisbee's a liberal city in Arizona. Very old, used to be a copper mining city. Very interesting city, a lot of good people. We talked to a fellow who was a hat maker and had a ponytail, you know. So if you want to profile, we talk about profiling, but we talked to him and introduced ourselves to him, and he said, "Yes, I know who you are." I said, "I read about you in the paper." He said, "I'm glad you're here." Didn't expect that comment. But he said, you know, he said, "I voted for Obama," and he said, "I still have faith in Obama, but something has to be done or we won't be able to live here." He says, I go out hiking and camping, and I love it. He said, "I would never, ever leave home at night or go hiking and camping without being armed." That's how these people are living in the United States of America. And I can go on with those stories. My focus is, and there are 20 states that are in some process now of enacting legislation to hopefully force the federal government to do their job. If the federal government would do their job, we would be discussing the things that we're talking about here. Changing immigration, possibly making it easier. I have no problem with that. But you can't do that with 1,000 a day coming across the border in Cochise County, Arizona, one county, 1,000 a day. They apprehend 300 plus a day. As they apprehend those people, they take them back, they process them, they'll take a photo of their eye, fingerprint them if they haven't destroyed their fingerprints, and send them back across. As the young lady here stated, they don't go back where they came from. They come back across the next day. They got a 60% chance of making it. So it doesn't stop the rotation. I believe, and I've been there, I've walked the border, I've talked to the people, I've talked to Border Patrol. And Border Patrol agents will be very frank with you and tell you that they're not allowed to do their job. They're prevented from doing their job. When we left Cochise County, coming out of Bisbee on State Route 80, 20 miles north of the border, we were stopped at a checkpoint. Probably 8 to 10 vehicles there from the Border Patrol. I hadn't seen another car, and I can't tell you since we left Bisbee, really. But we were pulled over and graciously did, and was asked, "Are you a United States citizen?" My comment was, "Yes, and I'm proud to be a United States citizen." They didn't ask the sheriff, he was sitting right next to me. Asked me. And we went on. And I think, why wouldn't those people be down on the border where they can do some good? The person coming here for a job and to help their family, I feel for that. I understand that. The drug dealers, the contraband, those people that are coming with them are a danger to this country. We have tracked drugs from Cochise County, Arizona to Butler County, Ohio. 2 days ago, the sheriff in Butler County did a drug raid. The drugs came from Arizona. You might know, well, how do you know that? They were shipped by a shipper from Cochise County to Butler County. That's the reason I'm from Ohio, and people say, well, you're from Ohio. Why do you care? I care about our young kids who are getting poisoned by these drugs.